I used to wonder when I first started gardening, like what was it about the rain, like right after it rained, that made my plants just thrive? Hey guys, I just wanted to come on really quick and share with you this small harvest that I just got this morning from my garden. I was going to actually film myself harvesting these potatoes and onions, but I didn't really have anybody to hold a camera for me. So I just decided I would go ahead and harvest them because we are supposed to have some rain coming. I'm not sure when it will be here, but sometime this afternoon. It is probably about 12 right now. I don't know what time the rain is coming, so I wanted to go ahead and get these things harvested. I actually did lose a few of my potatoes because they sort of softened and started to rot in the soil. So I think I let these go a little bit longer than they should have. Now I will say some of these were in deeper than others. As you can see, these are still pretty moist because they were really down deep in the soil. This was kind of deep, sort of semi-deep. It's still moist as well. These were a little bit closer to the surface. So they're actually smaller than these large russet potatoes. These actually grew from some potatoes that I bought from Azure, and I may save a couple of these, to be honest with you guys, and try and sprout them so that I can do another round of potatoes. This is not a lot, but this will be enough to go with what I'm making for dinner tonight. And yeah, I don't know how many pounds this is because, guys, I did not weigh these and I don't really have a scale to weigh these on. But this is a pretty good harvest. I mean, I got quite a few of the large ones in here, if you guys can see. And then I got some medium-sized ones and some small ones. Quite a few little small ones in here. They're actually pretty cute. But I did get a few of these little small ones. I got a really, really tiny one in here somewhere I want to show you guys. I got a few of those as well. Those were sort of kind of up at the top, just hanging out. And I'm assuming they just weren't ready. And maybe I pulled those plants out too soon. But they were all pretty yellow and dying. So I just decided to go ahead and get them all. I did hear from a few different gardeners on YouTube that when you do grow these potatoes in a bag, you just don't get as many as when you grow them into the ground. So I'm really hoping to be able to grow into the ground next year, guys. But I am still growing in my grow bags, and so I'm thankful for this harvest of potatoes because I actually didn't get any last year. I think I pulled out the plants, and like one of the potatoes was about half the size of that one. So yeah, this is actually a win in my book. So those are the potatoes I harvested, and then I harvested some onions this morning. These are not super huge. This is the Texas grano or grano. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but the Texas grano onion. This is a short day variety because I do live in the Mid-South. And so I definitely can't grow long day onions. I'm not sure if I can grow intermediate day onions, but I didn't want to chance it. So I went ahead and grew the short day ones. And although some of these onions are quite small, there's one right there. There's one that's really, really tiny. And I actually have another one that's about that small in my kitchen, drying on my countertop. But I'm pretty happy with this harvest, guys. This was my first time growing onions, and I literally had to do almost nothing to get these onions to grow. I did fertilize them a couple times. I kept watering them. I didn't have to water them as much because we did get a good amount of rain this season, and they did protect my tomatoes from pests. So I did go ahead and sprinkle some more onion seeds to try to grow another round of these. Now I'm not sure if I will be able to get more onions from these plants, but I'm hoping that even if I don't get any huge onions, that these little plants will continue to help protect my tomatoes from tomato hornworms so that I can get a harvest from those. I actually do have 2 more onions still in a couple of grow bags with some herbs. So I did leave those, and there was 1 onion still in the bag that I had these in. So I left it and watered it because it was really tiny and it was still green and it had not fallen over. So I'm hoping that it will actually start to grow now that it has a little bit more room since these onions have been removed. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to show you this really short harvest today. Just to encourage some of you who may, I don't know, maybe watching this video and you may have been thinking about starting to garden. Well, this is the third year that I have attempted to garden since we've been in this house, and this is by far the best year that I've had since I've started gardening. And it's not like I'm getting a ton of produce, but I'm learning, and it's getting better and better every year. So guys, look at this strawberry plant. I'm gonna try and insert a picture of the way it looked the last time I showed you guys an update on this plant, and it has grown exponentially since that time. There's two plants in here, but honestly guys, this is actually just one plant mostly. I'll show you the second plant that is down in here, and it's kind of just over here by itself, just one little plant. This one whole plant has completely taken over the pot, and there's flowers pretty much everywhere on it. There's berries. Here is another berry that's just about ripe for the picking. And then let's see, there's another one on here somewhere, guys. I'm gonna try and show it to you. Okay, there's one right here. This one's not quite ready. It's not ready yet at all. I think I need to water this today. Oh, and then there's one down in here that's almost ready to pick. Not quite, because I picked one that looked like this the other day and it just kind of wasn't ready. So I'm just going to give them a little bit more time. I used to wonder when I first started gardening, like, what was it about the rain? Like right after it rained that made my plants just thrive. Well, after doing a little bit of research, it seems that the high nitrogen content in the rain is what really makes these leaves on a plant thrive and just really bush out. And that's pretty much what has happened to this plant and my peppers also. And even my flowers out here, if I can show you. I don't know if you guys can see. I guess we'll just walk out here and look at it. Let's see. Yeah, so this is what they look like. There's no crazy looking flowers. They're all like nice and fluffy and plump. And the color is just absolutely amazing on these flowers. They are so pretty. I typically like to have a yellow flower growing in the spring and summer months, but I'm not going to complain about having these beautiful flowers growing on my front porch. I really wish I would have gotten around to growing a second pot, but I'll definitely grow these again next year. All right, guys, I am back in my garden. Everything is looking pretty good. Pretty healthy. I'm just waiting on things to ripen and yeah, so that I can pick them. So this lettuce, guys, I need to pick this. I need to go ahead and harvest this lettuce and this lettuce. It is time. And I need to actually harvest some of these herbs as well. I may actually harvest some of these for dinner tonight. But this is what I really wanted to show you guys here, this tomato plant. So this is my tomato plant right here. Well, there's actually three bush tomato plants. These are Roma tomatoes. And it's right next to the grow bag that I was growing my onions in. And I've already taken those out this morning. I harvested pretty much all of them, except this one little onion right here. I think I'm going to go ahead and water it so that maybe it'll grow a little bit more. I don't know. But I'm leaving it in here a little bit longer. And I did sprinkle some more onion seeds in here in hopes that they would actually like sprout and grow. Even if I get little tiny baby onions, I'll be okay with that. Or even if I just get like the green onion tops, I'll be okay with that as well. Because I'm really just putting this here at this point to try and deter pests from taking my tomatoes that I have put so much time and effort into already. I absolutely want to get this harvest. Guys, this thing is chocked full of tomatoes. There's tomatoes on all three plants from top to bottom, and there's tons of flowers that have already sort of budded, and then there's a bunch of flowers that are kind of just starting. There's some there. Let's see, there's some over here somewhere, guys. There's some in there. There's some of the flowers that are actually kind of starting to grow into tomatoes, so they've already turned brown. Let's see, there is some more over here that are just starting out, if I can show you right there. So I am super excited to get tomatoes this year. I did get some last year and I did show you guys what I did get, but most of my tomatoes were ruined by tomato hornworms. So let me show you guys what I did decide to do to protect my tomatoes this year. And this is 3 plants growing in here, so they're pretty sort of close knit together, but they're bushy plants, so they won't get much bigger than this. But what I did was I had an onion. If you guys can see, I had an onion that I'd gotten from Azure that had started to sprout. Let me see if I can show you. I put the piece that actually started to sprout. I put that piece in here with my peppers because I actually had some tomato hornworms on my peppers last year. So I actually put the piece that sprouted in here to try and protect those. And then I put a couple of pieces in here with these peppers to try and protect them. And then down here, I put the bulk of the onion around all of my tomatoes. I just sprinkled them throughout the bottom. Yeah, there's still some basil in there, but honestly, guys, the goal is to protect my tomatoes in this container. I did plant some basil in some other containers, so I do plan to get some basil this year. It does love the heat, so I'm not worried about that. But I did go ahead and, again, just sprinkle these onions, chopped them up, and sprinkled these onion pieces all around the bottom of my tomato plant. There are some crazy looking leaves at the bottom, but that's because we've had a ton of rain here lately. Not too worried about that. So hopefully we won't get any major issues. These onions will keep the tomato hornworms off my onions, and if these break down, I'll probably have some more that end up sprouting, and I'll just go ahead and cut that up, and I'll save it to sprinkle around my plant for the future. So if you guys have tried this method and it's worked for you, or it hasn't worked for you, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, I'll try and keep you guys updated on what's going on and how my plants are doing. Right now, they're all doing really well. I haven't seen any major issues in any of them yet. I do need to probably water them, but I was kind of trying to wait to water my plants until after it rains, because it's supposed to rain today, and I'm not sure how much. And so I don't want to water them super deeply, and then the rain comes and rains a ton, and then my plants get flooded out. So I don't know, we'll see. I did water a few of them a little bit because certain plants are heavy feeders and they do need a ton of water, like this plant right here. This poor thing is just really dealing with the this hot weather and all this rain. Looks like there's some issues with this leaf right here. I'll have to look that up and see what that is and maybe try to deal with that, unless that's not a major issue. But these are my zucchini plants. There's tons and tons of zucchini. I'll try and show you. Tons of zucchini growing on this plant. And then there's tons of zucchini growing on this plant. I'll move this out the way so you guys can kind of see. There's actually a huge one over on this side that's going to be ready for me to harvest pretty soon, so I can't wait for that. All right, these peppers, looks like this one's starting to turn, looks like. Hopefully it's starting to ripen, so I can't wait to taste that pepper. These peppers are still looking good. The leaves are really beautiful and green. This one has tons of flowers on it and a couple of peppers, which is kind of gonna let it do its thing. But guys, here's my cucumber bed. I do have 3 plants in here. Probably not the best idea, but I just didn't want to thin them out too much, just in case I don't know, one of them started to not make it. But I'm gonna show you this one plant that was already pretty far along when I transplanted it in here. Yeah, it has flowers on it, so it's gonna give me some cucumbers really soon, and I cannot wait. These haven't started flowering yet at all. They're actually still kind of trying to grow big, so hopefully they won't crowd each other out too much, and I will get a ton of cucumbers from all of these plants. If I do find that they're struggling, I will go ahead and thin one of them out. All right, but here's my strawberries. It's kind of turned into a little mini garden tour. I wasn't trying to do that, but here are my strawberries that I showed you guys in the last video. the little transplants that I planted out here, they have grown a lot. These plants are not supposed to get super big anyway, but they have actually grown quite a bit since the last time I showed you guys the garden update. And here is a little tomato starting, a little strawberry starting to form there, and then there's a flower. So these seem to be doing pretty okay. I hope they make it. I hope I get strawberries from them. But guys, that's it for this video. I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. That's all I wanted to share with you guys. If you guys have any questions or comments, put them in the box below, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video.